one polite woman, one arrogant manager. What looked like discrimination turned into a lesson the entire hotel will never forget. The sun hung low, spilling liquid gold through the hotel's glass doors. Afternoon light danced across polished marble floors, reflecting off the grand chandelier that swayed gently above. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and freshly brewed coffee. Behind the front desk, clerks smiled mechanically, their voices rehearsed with courtesy. Businessmen hurried past, murmuring into phones. Tourists admired the gilded lobby. A few wealthy shoppers trailed the scent of luxury as they left. Everything felt perfectly in order, controlled, elegant, predictable. Then she walked in. A black woman, poised and graceful, entered through the tall revolving doors. She wasn't dressed to impress. No glitter, no bold colors. Just a crisp cream blouse, tailored trousers, and a small leather bag slung over her shoulder. Her steps were steady, her expression unreadable, her presence quiet yet commanding. The front desk clerk glanced up, then quickly looked away, unsure why he felt the sudden urge to stand straighter. Something about her presence disrupted the stillness of the place, like a soft breeze before a storm. No one knew who she was. No one imagined how her calm entrance would soon turn this flawless lobby into the scene of a reckoning. She approached the front desk with quiet confidence, her heels clicking softly against the marble floor. The hotel manager looked up, his practiced smile spreading across his face, polished, professional, and just a little too hollow. "Good afternoon," she greeted, her voice smooth and warm. "I'd like to book a room for the night." He nodded mechanically, typing on his keyboard. But as he looked at her ID, his expression faltered. His eyes flicked from the name to her face, then down to her modest clothes. The smile tightened, lost its sincerity. "I'm afraid we're fully booked," he said, tone clipped, distant. She glanced over her shoulder. Behind her, 2 travelers had just received their room keys with cheerful thanks. She turned back to him. "Are you sure?" she asked gently, her eyes calm, unthreatening. "Yes, ma'am," he replied quickly, his gaze shifting to the monitor as if it could shield him from the truth. "No vacancies." The air grew heavier. A woman waiting nearby frowned but said nothing. A bellboy looked down, pretending to check his phone. The polished elegance of the lobby suddenly felt fragile, like a glass window trembling under the weight of something unseen. Still, the woman didn't raise her voice. She simply nodded, a faint sadness crossing her eyes, and stepped aside. She thanked the manager softly, her voice barely above a whisper, and stepped aside with the grace of someone who had long learned the power of restraint. There was no bitterness in her eyes, only a calm that unsettled the air around her. She took out her phone, sleek, elegant, and dialed a number with quiet precision. "Yes," she said after a brief pause. "I'm here. Let's proceed." Her tone carried no emotion, but something in it made the nearby concierge glance her way. He couldn't tell why his chest felt tight. Maybe it was the poise in her voice, or the strange sense that she wasn't just another guest turned away. The woman ended the call, slipped the phone back into her bag, and sat gracefully on one of the velvet chairs in the lobby. She crossed her legs, folded her hands, and simply waited. Her stillness was unnerving, like the silence before a verdict. Then, through the golden reflection of the revolving doors, came the low hum of engines. 1, 2, then 5 black cars pulled up outside. Their doors opened in perfect rhythm. Men and women in tailored suits entered briskly, their faces unreadable, their badges flashing under the chandelier's light. The staff froze. Whispers rippled across the lobby. Something was happening, and everyone knew it wasn't good. The woman rose slowly from her chair as the group of suited professionals entered the lobby. Their confident footsteps echoed through the polished hall, slicing through the uneasy silence. Every eye turned toward them. Front desk clerks, bellboys, guests frozen mid-conversation. The man leading the group stopped a few paces from her, his expression respectful, almost reverent. "Ms. Roberts, everything's ready for inspection," he said clearly, his voice carrying across the room. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The words hung heavy in the air, sinking in like a stone into still water. Then, slowly, understanding began to dawn. Heads turned. Gasps slipped through parted lips. The woman the hotel manager had just denied, a woman he had judged too quickly, too quietly, wasn't a guest at all. She was the new majority owner of the entire hotel chain. She walked toward the front desk with measured grace, her heels tapping softly, each step deliberate and steady. The manager's face drained of color, his confident posture collapsing under the weight of dread. She stopped before him, her gaze steady but calm. "I came here to see how you treat your guests," she said, her voice low and even. "Now I know, no anger, no vengeance, just truth, sharp, quiet, and unforgettable." For a long moment, silence blanketed the lobby, thick, suffocating, and absolute. The manager's lips parted as if to speak, but no words came. His polished confidence had vanished, replaced by the pale shock of realization. Ms. Roberts didn't linger on his expression. She turned slightly, addressing the woman standing among the group of suited professionals. Her assistant, composed and ready with a clipboard in hand. "Effective immediately. This branch's management is suspended," she said evenly, her tone steady as stone. "Bring in a new team by tomorrow." Her words cut through the air, calm yet final, like a gavel meeting wood. There was no anger, no vindictiveness, just unshakable authority. Every staff member in the lobby felt it. A shift, a reckoning cloaked in quiet dignity. The assistant nodded swiftly, already making calls, while the manager stood frozen behind the desk, his world collapsing in slow motion. Ms. Roberts adjusted the strap of her bag, took one last look around the glittering lobby, the same space that had moments ago denied her humanity, and gave a small, polite nod to no one in particular. Then she turned and walked away, her reflection gliding across the marble floor. Behind her, not a single voice dared to break the silence. Outside, the day was folding into evening. The sun had begun its slow descent, washing the street in shades of amber and gold. The hotel's tall glass windows caught the light, turning the building into a mirror of fading brilliance, a quiet reminder of how quickly appearances can change. Guests lingered by the entrance, whispering in disbelief. Some had seen everything unfold, the denial, the revelation, the quiet justice that followed. A few exchanged looks of shame, others admiration. Then, softly, almost shyly, a small round of applause began from a corner near the valet stand. It wasn't loud, but it carried warmth, respect, recognition. Ms. Roberts walked past them with measured grace, the hem of her blouse catching the golden light. She didn't glance back at the hotel, didn't need to. The weight of the moment spoke for itself. A black car waited by the curb. Her driver opened the door, but she paused for just a second, her gaze catching the reflection of the hotel in the car window. Her face remained unreadable, calm, distant. But there was a glimmer of something deeper. Resolve, perhaps even hope. As the car door closed, the city exhaled. Behind her, the hotel stood still, quiet, humbled, and forever changed. The world outside slipped into twilight, the last traces of sunlight fading behind glass towers. Inside the car, Ms. Roberts sat in silence, the city lights glimmering across her face like flickers of memory. She wasn't smiling, but there was a calmness in her eyes, the kind that comes from understanding both pain and purpose. Back at the hotel, the staff still whispered, their voices hushed, their hearts heavy. The marble lobby, once gleaming with pride, now felt colder, quieter, as if it, too, had witnessed its own reflection and didn't like what it saw. And somewhere in that silence, a truth lingered. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it walks in softly, wearing humility instead of crowns. It watches, listens, and waits for hearts to reveal themselves. And when it leaves, it doesn't seek revenge. It leaves a lesson instead, a truth too sharp for denial, too deep for apology, because respect isn't granted by titles or tailored suits. It isn't earned through wealth or status. It's born in the smallest acts, eye contact, fairness, decency, and those who fail that quiet test of humanity often discover too late that the one they dismissed was never powerless at all. She came for a room. She left with their conscience.